And we're back with a new build, yay! So in today's video, I wanted to create a saloon type place for a character that I was really excited to create for. Um, a couple of weeks ago, I made a build in Brintleton Bay and it was a pub. I used a small business pack and I created a really cool sim for it called Paco, and he has a brother called Mato. And when I was making these sims, actually, no, sorry, I got them off the gallery. I just edited them. But whilst I was editing them and creating their names, giving them the traits that I wanted them to have, etc., I really felt like it could be cool for them to have a bit of drama. There's a little bit of lore to their story. So if you guys have watched that video, and even if you haven't, it's okay, because in that video we just learned that they basically fell apart and they're still not really on speaking terms. And I didn't really want this video to be where they sort of make up and everything's great and amazing in the world, because I don't think their stories sort of over and has a happy ending yet. I want to explore it a little bit more. So, today we're just going to learn more about Mato's business and see how different it is maybe from the pub that I built last time. And I'll just tell you guys a little bit more about the brothers and I guess what I was doing in the video? That's why you're here, I guess, right? So the build itself, you can see it's in Chestnut Ridge. Um, it's a really, I think it's a nice build. I was gonna say it's a really nice build, but I don't want to just toot my own horn. But I was really happy with how it came out because to me, what I really wanted it to have is a cozy feeling on the inside. Like it's a saloon or a pub or whatever that you would come to and just chill. All the locals are here, a little bit like the pub that we built previously. This is the local sort of pub hangout place for the locals. So that's really nice. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now I will say, though I had a clear vision for the exterior on how I wanted it to look like, the roofing was such an issue. To the point where I should have stopped and probably looked at a tutorial on how to get the roofing right for the curves in this build, but I didn't. There's a couple of things I learned whilst I was editing the speed build. And one of them was that I honestly can't stick to one thing. Like the amount of cuts that I had to do in this video, because I would just see an object or I would see something that I haven't done yet and I'll just drop everything and I'm gonna go like, okay, enough of that. Let's now move on to, I don't know, the exterior, even though we were furnishing a bathroom. There's no logic to my madness. Um, and the second thing is that I'm very stubborn. Like I could have looked at a tutorial for roofing, but did I? No. I was like, I'm just gonna wing it and let's just hope for the best. I don't really mind how it turned out. I think if you don't look at it too closely, you can't tell that it's a bit of a disaster. Um, so just don't look at it closely, please. Just for my own sanity and my what's it called? Ego, I guess. So yeah, but let's talk about the build because I'm really excited about this. I was choosing the color schemes. I used a lot of horse ranch for this, and the color scheme I wanted to go for was, of course, wood tones like orangey, red, a little bit of pop of color, but not too much. Like it's just very warm. Also, you can see that Mato lives upstairs, and I chose to have darker wood and tiles that probably haven't been replaced in a while upstairs. Whereas the downstairs, the public area, it's going to be a bit more sort of renovated, fresh. It's still got the accents of the old place and the charm of the old place, but at least you can see that there's been more work put into it. And I feel like that's kind of, I guess it tells us something about Mato and the type of character he is, and how he, I guess, values his business so much more than, just his own like living situation. Not that his living situation is bad by any means, but when I was building the upstairs, especially as we can see now, I was really imagining that the furniture left here was like the parents, or his grandparents even. Like this furniture has been with the family for years, it hasn't been replaced. And Mato's the type of guy to be like, yeah, if it works and it's okay, like I'm just gonna keep it. There's no reason to get a new piece of furniture. So I kind of wanted to go with this idea, and Horse Ranch, I have to say, like worked so well for that. I really enjoyed using this pack because I haven't really used it a lot in my builds. It's not my usual building style. I'm much more of like a cottage girl. But this pack showed me there's so many great items, and I think I used well, a lot of them. The only one I didn't use that I kind of wish I could, and maybe that's another idea, is the I forgot the name now, but the one where they dance, like the little tiles that you can put down, and people will dance on them basically. That's one of the items that I didn't really get to use. But yeah, everything else I managed to pretty much, I think. And I didn't use any CC. So this is just all within game packs. You can also see that the bathroom is so old-fashioned, especially compared to downstairs. That's a little bit more modern. It's not so modern, but a little bit more modern. So I really enjoyed those little details as well. I thought that was pretty cool. And actually, whilst I was building this, I was really reminded of Red Dead Redemption. I freaking love that game. It's one of the best games I've ever played. I just can't get enough of it. To this day, I still think about Arthur, like every day. It's just stuck with me so much. But yeah, whilst I was building this and like sort of imagining Mato and when he was younger, and he's definitely a rancher, like he loves horses and things like that. And I just couldn't help but keep imagining Red Dead Redemption in my mind. It was really bad. At some point I was like, you've got to stop, because I'm almost at that point now. I'm like, restart the game again. But yeah, so apart from the Red Dead cravings, um, yeah, the house upstairs, especially his little apartment, came out really, really well. And I did remember as well after I built this that I did want him to have a wife, because I thought maybe his wife could also have a business in town, and that one might be a bit more like a petting zoo or a farm. I don't know, to be honest. I need to think. There's a lot of ideas that I have, but I'm going to see how to execute them. But that could be a different sort of video, maybe, and a continuation of these brothers' stories. So yeah, I feel like that would be pretty cool. Um, but to talk a little bit more about their relationship, I don't think it has progressed too much since last time. But what is cool, I guess, and what you will be able to see in this video is that there are like a few little nautical and also gnome references. And by references, I mean actual gnomes. Now, I didn't include them in the speed build because I thought it would be really fun if at the end of the video we go through the build together and you can see if you can spot the gnomes. I don't know if this is a really stupid idea, but at the time I thought this was really good. Like a little trivia, like where are the gnomes? Like, can you spot them? So yeah, that was my genius idea. Not sure how I feel about it now, having said it out loud, but we're gonna go with it. So yeah, gnomes are in the slot. And the reason they're in the slot is that Paco, Matos' his brother, loves gnomes. Like his pub is called the Angry Gnome. And he has gnomes everywhere. So I thought, Paco would have been the one to give Mato all these gnomes. And Mato, like, even though he's a little bit annoyed and like he's like, gnomes are so cringy and I hate them, he will still keep them up. Like maybe his wife put them up initially because she's like, it's rude not to. But then he has kept them up, and they're like in really prominent positions, some of them. So I don't really feel like he's hiding them away. It's a nice reminder of his brother to him, I feel like. But yeah, now we're into the downstairs, into the public area. And this is so nice. Like that sofa looks so comfy. I can just picture like the piano playing, the fire on, scented candles. lights are low, drinks are flowing, card games at the table with your friends, laughing till your stomach hurts. Like, this is a good vibe, you know? It's just so warm and so lovely inside, and I really, really like it. I like how it looks. I would love to visit a place like this in real life if I could. But yeah, so that's sort of what I was going for, and I'm just glad it came out the way I imagined it to. You know, we have those builds sometimes we can just clearly see an image in your mind, and you're like, I really hope it comes out the way I'm imagining it. This was one of those times, and I'm really, really happy about that because let me tell you, it doesn't happen very often. So when it does happen, I don't take it for granted. Oh, and this is where I swapped the color of the house from blue to red because I really like the red. I don't know. I feel like it popped a bit more, and it was also quite nice because I could see it as Mato being a bit more like fierce but also very loyal, you know, like the color red represented him. And I like the contrast then of the red saloon and the blue pub in Brintleton Bay. So I was like, blue's not gonna fit Matos's vibe, you know, we need to go with something a bit more um yeah, a bit different as well, but a bit more interesting for this world and this character. So I really feel like it worked well, and I realize how much in depth I'm going about the color that I chose to paint this house, but you know, it mattered to me. um, and I really love how the outside looks like. I feel like Mato, as I said in the other video, or in case you haven't watched it, he's a very sociable guy. He's very, very loyal to his community. And you know, he loves to hang out on the porch. Like that's his absolute best place to hang out. Come out here with a drink, sit on the benches, maybe grill something. Oh, like that's the life, you know. He loves a bit of chess, he loves a bit of card games. So you've got everything you need on this little porch here, which I thought would be really cool. And the views around this lot are incredible. So, you know, I was really blown away. Again, like I feel like I haven't played with this pack at all. When I was building, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. So I really like the idea of, you know, challenging myself to build on lots that I usually don't, with maybe sims that I normally wouldn't like create for lots that I build and delve so much into. So this was a really cool challenge, and yeah, I would definitely recommend, you know, if you feel a bit stuck, just to build in a new world, create characters if that helps you build. Because for me, it really, really helps when I have a story in mind and a vision for the place. It just all comes out a little bit more, yeah, a bit more easily, you know? And here's me changing like the color swatches of stuff for the 100th time. I had to cut so much out of me, like going back and forth on colors and things like that and jumping between places. But now I'm actually just adding the final details to this building here, and especially on the outside because I thought, you know, there should be some decorations, and especially because it's such an old building. Like as I said, this has probably been passed down through generations. You know, everyone's so proud of what it's become, and here's a little nautical nod to his brother. So yeah, I feel like for that reason, I wanted it to have a little something scattered around, you know. But yeah, that's basically the main building. And I just also added some fencing as well around the porch. Um, yeah, the porch itself, as I said, especially with the roofing, that was a nightmare. But you know, we got there. My stubbornness prevailed this time. Stubbornness or laziness, I don't know what it is. Hopefully, some of you guys can relate, and you just, you know, you just wing it most of the time when it comes to Sims builds or life. But anyway, moving on. Um, so yeah, then after this bit, I was like, okay, I've built the pub for Mato, but I do want him to be a rancher. I want him to have maybe a horse or a couple of horses. But I also want this to be a place where people can come and make nectar and ride their horses as well, because there's actually a training ground just next to the slot that, you know, you can use with your horse. So I didn't have to build a whole training ground here. But I did want it to be a place where, yeah, you know, people can come with their horse. And maybe the horses can stay here, sleep here if they need to, eat, drink, blah blah blah, etc. So here I'm trying to map out the stables. Basically, it's a huge barn, and I've got a couple of stables in here. Now I will also need to just check that it all works, because as I said, I haven't really played with horses yet. I love the idea of playing with horses, I just don't know why I haven't yet. But I find that a lot with the Sims packs. I'm really excited to buy them, and I love the build stuff and the general vibe of them. But then I just don't really end up like doing anything with them, and I don't know why. It just doesn't really make sense to me. But as I said, this is a good way to explore the packs. So yeah, I will have to play a test this, but these are the stables, and downstairs is going to be a basement, and that has all the nectar making as well, which is really cool. I already play tested it a little bit by opening a small business in the slot, and the people that come in actually do start making nectar themselves. They play with the horse, they order bar drinks, so that's really great. And you can always change that. So if you don't want people, playing with or riding the horses, or making nectar, for example, maybe that could be more like a residential area or an employees only area. Because then, if for example you made this employees only, you could still hire someone with your small business, but then they could just work for you and look after the horses, kind of like a ranch hand, but with the small business, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I feel like that could be a cool idea as well. And then it's not open to public, but it still helps you out a lot. So that could be another option. For now, I've just allowed everyone to sort of explore the grounds. And here I'm going into the basement, and I'm starting to make this sort of area where they can come, create the drinks, have a little seat down, like sit down, music, etc. So it's like a really nice, it's kind of like one of those things where you would buy like a coupon for a workshop, nectar making workshop, and you would go there with your friend for the day. That's kind of the vibe I wanted it to have. Now it is in a basement as well, so I did try to not make it creepy looking, because it's a basement. Like, imagine rocking up here with your friend, and you're like, where's the workshop? And they're like, yeah, just go down these stairs in the barn. you know I don't think I would, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that was quite interesting. But don't worry, this place is totally safe. Nothing's gonna happen here. um so yeah, anyway, back to friendlier things. We're just finishing up with the basement now, and Mato himself would really enjoy coming down here, creating some nectar himself. I can imagine he also sells some, to like local markets, or of course the clients and customers that come here as well. So he's, yeah, really active with that. It's one of his passions, I would say. And outside, actually also ended up putting like, well, I guess they look like grapevines. You can't really play with them, they're not functional. But of course, in the game, we can grow grapes. So if you wanted to, you could plant some grapes on the ground, like around them, or just next to them, for example. And then it would look, well, then it is functional, and it looks really good as well. It looks like a vineyard, which is what I was going for with that. There's not that many though, to be fair. It's not a big lot, but the intention is there. But it's only debug as well. So just keep that in mind. If you did want to play this and make your own nectar from your own like harvestables, then you'll have to plant a few grapes. But yeah, I will put this on the gallery. So if you're interested in this lot, it could definitely be cool to play in this. Also, if you didn't want it to be a small business, it could just be a lovely family home. Like the upstairs could just be like a kid's, attic space. And the downstairs, you could just turn into a big kitchen, living, and also a bedroom. I think you could easily fit that in. And then you have like a small family home. So yeah, I feel like that would be a pretty cool idea. That's what you would want to do with this slot if you wanted to play in it. But yeah, we're coming to the end now of the basement, and then it's just the exterior left, where I was trying to do a little bit of landscaping. but definitely not too much because the world, of course, is very dry and hot and quite harsh on plants, I imagine. So it wouldn't be very realistic, you know, to have a lot of plants everywhere. Also, heartbreaking news. After I did all this landscaping, it actually disappeared, which I was really, really upset about. So it might not look exactly the same as when I did it, and I do apologize for that. But you know, it just made me so angry, and I was like, I don't want to do it again. I've already been through this. So I laugh, you know, so I don't cry. No, but I mean, the landscaping didn't take me too long. It's just very infuriating when that happens, because yeah, I only had left the lot and then came back in, and it just disappeared completely. But you know, we're not gonna talk about the bugs in the game and how they're not fixed. It's okay. We can't do anything about it right now. We can complain, and I'll take that. But yeah, so basically I just added a few trees, made the lot look a bit more lived in, you know, nice fire pit outside. There's also a small business type, what is it called, activity that allows you to hang out by the fire. I was kind of running out of space, so it was my priority, but it could be cool for Sims to hang out outside as well and just chill by the fireplace, you know, and yeah, just have a good time. I mean, I'm all for that. But yeah, so this was really my take on Mato's yeah, saloon type thing. And I think what I'll do next is, as I said, probably think about what kind of lot his wife would have. Maybe we can meet her as well in the next video and, you know, see what she's up to. Maybe also see what her, I don't know, what her feeling is about these two brothers who are not really speaking or spending time together. So it could be quite cool just to, yeah, see what the vibe is, you know, and figure out more about the brothers. And maybe we could even have a bit of progression in their relationship, which might be nice as well. Um, so yeah, I feel like now we're coming to the end of the speed build, and I'm going to jump into the game and show you guys a little bit more of what is going on, because it might have been a bit difficult, you know, to see all the little things I've done during the speed build. And then we can also have a look at where those pesky gnomes are. Okay, guys, here we go. So this is our lot. At the moment, I've only got Mato in this house, but I will, of course, you know, get him a wife. He's had a wife this whole time. We just don't know where she is right now. She's not Belagoth, I promise. Anyway, so this is our lovely house. I love that it's autumn right now. It looks so lovely. With these colors, and it really inspired sort of the look of the house as well, so that's really cool. And we also have a horse. We adopted a rescue called Wildfire. It's an elder horse stallion, who's having a really great time with this ball right now. So this is basically the outside. As I said, we have our little you know, vineyard here, if we can call it that. This is our barn from the outside, so you can kind of see all the way through. I imagine these doors would close when it's cold. Little, you know, yeah, campfire, I was gonna say. I'm losing the words right now. And then, of course, our lovely wraparound porch as well. Let's go inside and just take a little look at what's happening. So we've got a lovely bar place here, lots of nectar ready to go for when the usuals show up and have a little ball. We've got, of course, our seating, the fire is on, we've got lovely music playing, and yeah, the vibes are just really, really nice in here. I really love how this came out. We've got some modern doors here. I imagine he replaced them, you know, once he took over, just so it looks a bit more professional. So we've got our bathroom through here, a little toilet, and then of course this door is to go upstairs. And upstairs, I love this little nook where, you know, I was really struggling with sort of the small space, and I thought, yeah, should I put a TV or like a little sofa or whatever, but I like how there's a dining table here. He probably sits here so he can look at the TV as well, like he can watch it. But here we've got this little nook where he can sit down and play his guitar. In The Sims, you don't sit down to play the guitar, but you know, in real life, you probably would sit down to play it sometimes. So, and then through here, it's his cozy little bedroom that he hasn't changed a lot. So there's, you know, a few old sort of pieces. And he also, I could imagine, likes to paint sometimes. That could be a nice little hobby of his, like painting in this little room. You've got the lovely, you know, yeah, fields, I guess, or nature around you. And then, yeah, his little old-fashioned bathroom as well. So that's just his little place. We will move his wife in. Whoopsies. And then through the barn here, we've just got these two, oh bless, Wildfire's taking a little nap. But yeah, we've got these little two stables, horse beds, I guess, and then another bathroom, so you know you don't have to walk back and forth. And then downstairs, as you can see, they're busy making some nectar. Yeah, these two guys are just going at it, and good for them. So yeah, we can store some nectar in here, of course. This is all functional. And then you can make your own nectar with the bar over here and have a little, you know, sit down. You can listen to some music. So yeah, the vibes are quite nice in here. I like it as well. See, and it's not so creepy. Not at all. And this is what I meant with this lot having a whole training ground here, so you can take your horse. And it just looks really nice. I mean, look at this. You've got the water here. Wildfire's just having a ball in this lot, you know? He's just loving it. He's running little laps around, and good for him, honestly. Get that energy out. So yeah, this is a really nice lot for like a bar, nectar making, looking after your horses. You could even have a little farm. Really whatever you want to do with it. But I hope this has been fun to watch, fun to see my process, and also learn a little bit more about Mato and how he started with this saloon. So I'll see you guys very soon with the next video, and we're gonna carry on and explore and build, of course, as well. So till then, guys, bye bye.